Kaizer Chiefs head coach Mr. Zwane Mangeta, affectionately known as 10111, admit that as a Kaizer Chiefs head coach this season, he also made some huge mistakes, but also he promised something. And I know you guys are like, yeah, because of those mistakes, he must go. Well, even well-qualified coaches like Steve Compella, but he's not that qualified as opposed to, or in comparison to, Stuart Baxter, they also made mistakes. Speaking about that, then I know you want to know those mistakes and all the stuff. Then just do me one favor, stick around. As you stick around, guys, the second favor that I'm requesting from you guys is that you subscribe. Like the video, comment in the comment section below. Why do you need to do that? You need to do all of these things because doing it does help out a lot when it comes to the YouTube algorithm to promote and spread this video to as many people as possible. So definitely, good people, the power here is in your hands, right? There are quite a number of questions that we're gonna have to answer in this video. Does it mean that just because he acknowledged to have made mistakes, does it mean that he should be released because he's a horrible coach? That's the question that we need to answer here, because I feel like that's what other people's sentimental value are saying. They're saying that because he admits to be doing mistakes, he must be sacked. Well, I think I have a different view, but before I give it a different view and why am I lenient towards him in this context, let's dive into what he said. This is what he said when admitting that. Zwane, I've learned a lot from my first season where we've had injuries to most players throughout the season. We had inconsistencies where we could not win the games in a row. In other instances, we missed chances we could have scored and win the games. Then there were times where we considered goals from our mistakes. I cannot blame myself for that. I know it's part of the game. I was a player myself and I know mistakes do happen in football. It's part of the game and we have to move on. As for players, we had new players and also they were still getting used to each other. But I think in general, we have done very well, though we could have done much better. Yeah, I know a lot of people will differ with me on this one, but let's face the truth here. Number one, when Zwane was appointed as a head coach, a lot of people said that he would be fighting relegation. They said the most thing that he can get, he will be fighting to get into the top 8. But guess what? The most thing that Zwane did actually almost qualified for the CAF, which they did not expect. The most thing that Zwane did almost got into the final of the Nedbank Cup, which they did not expect. The next thing that Zwane did, he's sitting very comfortably. They said he will be fighting to get into the top 8. He's sitting comfortably. Even if he were to lose the last 2 games, he will still be comfortable in the top 8. The plumber coach, he's sitting comfortably in the top 8. But in Zulu they say, akukho soka elinganasi. In as much as Zwane, for me, he has performed, having little resources. But he himself, there are mistakes that he did. One of the mistakes that he did was the way he substituted players. That's what I actually find it problematic for me. The way, the time, not even the way, but the time, let me say so, the time in which he substitutes players. That he will substitute players on 78, 80 something minute. But I think you are just wasting time. People who wants to win the game, if you are substituting players to win the game, you must substitute earlier in the game. Then your substitution means you are trying to win the game. So that's the mistake from his part. But also he's making a point to say he's got new players. Now, for a fact, look, if I were to make this example about business, you won't understand. Some of you, some will understand, but some won't. So let me make an example that is that affects everybody. whether men and women, young and old, is relationships. In a relationship, you all know that when it is new, it's like a honeymoon phase. And then it goes to those phases now where things start to get hectic, you know what I'm saying? But number two, in a new relationship, you can't just introduce everything. You gradually introduce things, you know what I'm saying? You gradually set things and correct things if they need to. You cannot just say somebody just somebody make one mistake and then you start, you know what I'm saying? No, but you gradually introduce certain things. You gradually, grow the person into the understanding of how you want to be loved. With that example, taking it back to Kaizer Chiefs, I'm saying that they had new players. So you cannot implement everything that you want from those players. You cannot push them to do everything that you want all at once, otherwise they will crack. So you need to set standards, you need to set goals and say, okay, if you can achieve this and this and this season, once this has been achieved by the new players, next season we will then look at adding 1, 2, and 3. So it means that it is a continuous thing. It's growth. Growth doesn't just come in just one night and then you have grown and you know everything. We all know by ourselves that does not happen. So if you look at the fact that they have new players, secondly, the coach is new, and then you're looking at what they're trying to do, they cannot achieve that in just one season. So those are the things when you look into them as a reasonable individual, you're like, look, move your emotions aside of the story. Just focus on this. You realize that no, it doesn't necessarily make sense that they should just sign. Look, they should just chase the coach, because otherwise, then they will not grow. You know what I'm saying? What I blame Kaizer Chiefs management for is that they did not sign quality players that can last longer for the coach. Because some players, they will need to let go of those players. But what if they had signed quality players? The likes of Bimenyimana, he is definitely leaving Kaizer Chiefs this season. Whether they like it or not, he is definitely leaving Kaizer Chiefs this season. Whether on loan, or he will be sold, or he will be released, I don't know. But definitely Caleb is leaving Kaizer Chiefs. So it speaks of how wasteful signing they have done. You know what I'm saying? The good thing is that he signed only two years. So it's this season and the next season. But you see what I'm trying to say. Zwane made his mistakes, as well as the management have their fair share in this whole situation. It was better for them to make mistakes with good quality players, because next season those players would have now well adjusted, and next season you start gaining momentum. Let me just give you this last example. According to research in football, they say if you sign new players, first season they are most likely to give you just an average performance, because they are still adjusting. But second season, that's when players have settled, and that's when they start giving you performances. So in Kaizer Chiefs, for them to delay signing good players for Zwane, it delays their growth, it delays their success. So if they were, according to me, if they are to see success very quick, what they need to do next season, and in this transfer window that is about to open in end of June, beginning of June, they need to sign more players so that those players will adjust at Kaizer Chiefs. And then the following season, those players would have familiarized themselves with Kaizer Chiefs and they will start delivering. I know, you're like, Bongani, so we must wait for another season, one more season for them to start delivering, except the season that is coming. Yes, I get that the research says it takes one season for players to adjust. Then they start delivering. Some years they deliver in the first season. Like about Sahil, they started performing in the first season. Like about Dupree, they started performing in the first season. But you're going to get the best of them in the following season. It's research in football, it's not me. Given him Simang, a good player, he will need a season to adjust at Kaizer Chiefs. But you can minimize that, the longness of it, by simply buying players, good players in bulk. Then all of them have got just one season to adjust. The next season they start delivering. But am I saying they won't win anything? No, I'm saying they can win something next season. But you can't expect them to win everything. You know why? Because most players will be adjusting. But to hasten the success, just sign more players, good players, all at once in one transfer window, right? Then probably they will win the MTN 8. It's good for them. Then went on to lose the league again and other cups. It's fine. But the following season, they will deliver it for you. So do you see what I'm trying to say? I hope it makes sense to you. Then if it does, get into the comment section below. Get to talk to me. Tell me what you think about all of this. You and I will meet in the comment section below in the next in the comment section below. But until the next video, good people, please take care.